All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the VGF Strat Corner podcast. I am your host, Scott, aka Zhang on the boards. And sorry for the little bit of a delay. I had to do the vacation thing, but we're back and we're doing another episode. So first thing is first. Let me introduce my guest. I would probably argue one of the most well-known players in the Southern region, Way Gamble. So glad to have you on, man. How's it been going?
It's been going good. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem at all. Well, to be honest, it's actually been a really long time since we have spoken. I don't want to say this is in person, but, you know, kind of that live chat sort of thing. I want to say the last time that we were, like, together in the same room was, like, EVO 2005, like something ridiculous like that. So it's been a long time. So, but I know that you're still doing the tourney scene, still repping the fame. In Florida. So I guess we can kind of start there and introduce anyone out there who may not know who you are or may not know the depths to which your history goes. Kind of give us a background, like where did you start? Have you always been playing Tekken, or maybe did you start with Street Fighter? That sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I started back in the day when with Street Fighter 2 World Warriors. And I wasn't that good or anything, but I just liked the game a lot, and it was real fun. And then Tekken came out, Tekken 1, and it was Virtua Fighter had came out before it, but I like Tekken more. It was more of a, it seemed like a little bit more realistic. I didn't really like the ring out stuff too much with Virtua Fighter, but Tekken was really cool, man. Yeah, Bruce Lee, yeah, King. It was pretty cool game.
Nice. So what was your first major event?
My first major event. Let me see.
Yeah, I know you gotta page through the annals of your history.
Yeah, I'm pretty old. Let me see. I think some tournament called Summer Jam in Philadelphia.
Wow. And what they're doing? What's the one that they're doing like right now? It's not Winter Jam. What is that?
It was Winter Brawl.
Winter Brawl, that's right. I do remember the Summer Jams. Are they even still doing those?
Nah, I don't think so, man. That's
I never ever get up to the Northeast, so I don't know any of the tournaments up there. But awesome.
Yeah.
So
I went to the tournament and I kind of got my head mashed in, but
everybody does.
But I got to see. I met like Jop, JOP. And this guy named Jackie Tran, that's really good too. And at the time, Jop was that was the biggest guy I was hearing of. And then I seen this little Asian kid, Tran, he beat him up. I'm like, wow, this guy has to be good to beat Jop.
And if I recall, that was when Jop was still ATL, right?
Yeah, Jop was still ATL.
Yep. Because for all those out there who know the name, I'm sure they probably know him as Texas right now.
Yeah, he's Texas.
Yeah, but he started ATL, repping ATL.
Yeah, ATL's pretty strong.
Yep.
You have a long history.
Absolutely. So obviously, okay, so we have you on for Leo for this episode, but clearly you didn't start with her. What character was like the guy, the go-to character before Leo?
Martial law.
Law, absolutely. I like that. I like to hear that. So, so do you still play Law in T5, or is it almost exclusively Leo, or how's that work?
I play Law. That's still my best friend, but in the tournaments I've been playing Leo mostly.
So what's the motivation behind that? You just kind of want to rep low tier, or what's up with that?
Well, I really like the martial art that Leo uses, the Baji, and it's really cool. I think it's really cool because it's a kung fu, but it's a lot of elbow strikes and knee strikes like Muay Thai, but it's really fancy like kung fu. So I think that's cool.
Nice. Well, before we actually delve into this character and start to get the the grimy details out of the way, a couple things I do want to kind of shout out there to everybody who's listening to this podcast. You'll notice a couple differences. For one, no intro music on this one. I'm afraid YouTube finally got smart with their restrictions, so I'm putting all these up on YouTube, and with with YouTube comes some bad things, including copyright infringement, that whole thing. So no none of that. But for those of you who are listening to this on YouTube, don't forget if you do want to download the audio file, I'm still going to keep our Buzzsprout account open so you can do that. So feel free to hop onto the site and download that. And I don't know if you're playing Caliber, Gamble, but we are going to be doing a Soul Calibur 5 podcast here. The first episode will be very, very shortly after Final Round, so everyone be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just kind of ask that question there. Are you playing Caliber 5, or is it just strictly Tekken right now?
Well, right now it's just strictly Tekken because I kind of want to focus for Final Round.
Ah, gotcha.
I want to do good at that tournament.
Is that the only game you're playing at Final Round?
Probably Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag, most likely.
Tekken Tag. Oh yeah, they are having the original or the HD, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have HD. So
that makes me even more sad. Like I was completely planning on going to Final Round this year, and then because of my work schedule and everything, just everything fell through. Like I was ready to buy my tickets and whatnot at the beginning of this month, but just everything went to shit. So I'm so sad about that because it's one of the few tournaments that even plays tag anymore.
Yeah, really.
But they're trying to get everybody pumped for tag 2, I guess. Who knows? But, well, best of luck to you for that. Hopefully, you don't have to give any trade secrets out during this podcast since you're training for that. But I guess we'll just kind of jump into the character then. I haven't had a lot of time to really mess with Leo lately because I've been really busy, so I haven't boned up on like any of my frame data or anything like that. But there are a couple things that jump out to me about this character from things that I can remember. First and foremost, down back 4-2. Or is it down 4-2? I think it's just down 4-2. Down 4-2. The sweep and the punch.
Oh yeah, down back 4-1.
Down back 4-1. Sorry. Yeah, that hella strong move. I mean, that's whenever I play against Leo. I mean, that's always the thing that I'm looking out for. I don't want to eat that a million fucking times. So I know that that's really strong. And then I also know that because she's very much a string character, and if you don't know those strings and you don't know the frames on those strings, she's just going to eat you up. Like, just straight up. So I guess I'll ask this question. Like, where do you see her strong points, and where do you see her weaknesses?
Well, I think the strong points with Leo is she's pretty well rounded. Like she has she has hop kick, down forward 2, a lot of long range moves, down back 4-1, instant, a knockdown sweep. So she's pretty well rounded. I think like the weak points with Leo is there's nothing like really like there's nothing real cheap about her. You pretty much have to unless the guy doesn't know anything about the character at all, you really have to work for your wins.
Nice. Well, I guess you mentioned hop kick, down forward 2. Those are pretty standard punishers. So from what I can recall, I thought she was just like an average punisher. Aside from hop kick and down forward 2, are the rest of her punishers pretty strong, or are they pretty average? Or?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty up there. She has a good 10 frame. 1-4 does like I think like 28. So that's pretty tight. Yeah, she has a stomp. Her combo damage is pretty up there. So I like her. She's pretty cool.
Okay, well let's start with the punishers then. So you said the 1-4. That's I would say 28 damage plus frames is pretty good for a 10 framer. What does she have at 12 frames?
12 frames. You're still kind of stuck with 1-4. She doesn't really get anything till about 13.
What's that 13?
13, she gets up forward 1-2, and hold on, I have the game on now. Let me see how much it does.
Yes, here we go. Practicing live for people out there.
Yeah, 34. So it gets 34 damage plus knockdown, and wall splat if the wall is there.
Yeah, that's pretty strong for 13 frames. Any sort of like range issues on that one? Like, does it randomly whiff at times, or is it pretty consistent?
Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
And then
she sticks the hand pretty far out there.
So, and then I would imagine that there's nothing really special at 14. You'd still want to do up forward 1-2.
Yeah, you can do that for the knockdown. For 14, you can either do forward 2-2, which is 41, and it's hit confirmable. That's pretty cool. And You can also do 3-2, which is the beginning of a string. Yeah, 3-2 is cool. I like that a lot because it gives +9 on hit. So, pretty much anything afterwards, I'll beat anything they do.
So what are the options after 3-2 to be scared of? Do you have to do the string, or does it allow you enough time to go into something else?
Well, the real string is either 3-2-3 or 3-2-4, but if you just stop at 3-2, you get +9. So
so no sort of weird like delay animation or anything like that.
No, none of that. So, you just stop at the 3-2, you get +9, and, you can stuff anything they want to do if they don't want to block,
Gotcha. So you don't really finish those strings?
Not really. Not on
3-2.
Yeah, it's like 3-2 because, +9 is, that doesn't really come, you don't really get that much advantage a lot in this game.
No, that's borderline guaranteeing an extra hit. Very close, very close. So at 15, you mentioned hop kick and down forward 2. Are both of those 15 frames, or?
Yeah, both. Yeah, both are 15.
Is her down forward 2 like? I know I've seen it before. Does it launch on both counter hit and non counter hit, or just?
Yeah, it launches on counter hit, non counter hit. It doesn't launch crouching though.
Oh, gotcha. So which one do you usually prefer? Do you rather do the hop kick or the hop kick?
Well, if I have well, it depends because I like down forward 2 because it has more range than the hop kick, but it's also unsafe. But it really depends on the situation because if I see him, he's ducking, I'll do a hop kick or something, but it's normally down forward 2.
Gotcha. Yeah, I take it the juggle damage on both is about the same.
Yeah, same thing. Down forward 2 does a little bit, I think either 2 points more or 1 point more, but hop kick always launches.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, then let's talk about the wall standing stuff. I imagine she has a generic wall standing 4. That's at 11. Anything special at 13?
13, you can do wall standing 3, wall standing 3-1, which is a knee, which is really cool. They can't reverse it. Let me see. Wall standing 3-1 is 29. Does 29, so that's pretty good. You can also do the up forward 1-2 from crouching as well and get the knockdown.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that. Say up forward. So you'll have to forgive me because I don't know like the animations for a lot of these moves. Like I said, I haven't been able to practice much here recently. So up forward 1-2 does that hit pretty low? Is that reliable if you block something low or?
See, that's the thing. It's a high move. It's high mid. So like if the move you block leaves them really low, it's going to whiff.
Gotcha. So so she has the wall standing 3 string at 13. So I know that string it has 3 hits to it, right? Wall standing 3-1-2.
Yeah.
Is it worth it at all? I mean, I don't really know the properties for it. I would imagine that the entire string isn't guaranteed if the 3 hits.
No.
Is the 1 guaranteed, or is it just the 3?
Yeah, the 1 is guaranteed.
Is it worth it to do the 1, or do you usually stop at the 3?
Well, you can hit confirm the 1 a little bit, but usually because it's a 3-hit string, the people are usually scared of the 3rd hit. So, you get some. I don't know. I like to call them like pseudo frames, and like people are afraid of the next hit in the string. So, it's pretty safe to throw out there.
I like that term. We have talked about that sort of mentality a lot on our podcast, where you gain frames because they think something else is coming. But I like the term pseudo frames. I like that a lot. I'm to steal that. So while standing, so at 15 frames, do you just revert to hop kick, or does she have something special?
Yeah, you got to do a hop kick for 15 because her while standing 2, which launches, is 16, but it hits really, really far, the while standing 2. Also, it's grounded, so, 16 and up, just do while standing 2. Gotcha.
And I would take it you probably get a little bit more damage off of while standing 2.
Yeah, while standing 2 does a good amount.
Nice. Okay, so I would imagine because of the range on her down forward 2, that's probably your go-to whiff punisher. Does she have anything else that's like really, really scary that you have to watch out for whiff punishing?
For whiff punishing, well, really the down forward 2 is the scariest because of the juggle damage, but She also has forward forward 2, which is without the execution frames, I think it's like 15, and that hits pretty far. I think it does like 20, 28 or 27, and it gives knockdown, and it's only -10, so it's not bad. And she also has forward both punches, which is either 17 or 18. It's a big shoulder, and it does 38. And if it gives like a violent knockdown, so if they don't roll back, you get free stomp. So, you add them together, it's almost like 60 damage.
Nice. I imagine the forward 12 that wall splats. Does the forward 2 wall splat as well?
Yeah, wall splat. Yeah.
Both of them wall splat. Okay. That's pretty dangerous. I did want to ask about the jabs though, because you said the 1-4. Do you usually do that on whiff, or do you usually just do like the 1-2 string?
Well, I like 1-4 because it does the most damage off the 10 frame. But she also has some more things that's a little bit tricky. Like she has a 4-hit string, which is a 1-2-1-4, and if you can make like the 1 of the 1-2 whiff and hit the counter hit and hit the 2 counter hit, you can hit confirm the rest of the string. And
I can only imagine that's beefy damage.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'm supposed to know this stuff, so I'm like cheating with the practice mode.
No, that's okay. Trust me. You want to be right rather than be wrong and be doing it off of memory. So
69. It does 69.
That's a fucking grip. That's juggle damage.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, so we're now we've got the punishers out of the way, and you're kind of talking about those tricky setups. And I already mentioned you actually said it too. If you don't know her very well, she's gonna like cheese you out hardcore. So yeah. With the whole string mentality, and you just mentioned 1-2, 1-4. How else do you work those strings into the match? Like, because I imagine that most of her strings have to be like part of her pressure game. Or am I just completely out there? Like she doesn't really have a pressure game unless you don't know anything about it.
No, she has a pressure game because a lot of the strings they end in like her K and K stance, and that stance is like I think +7 on block or something like that. So it really depends on like the person. You try to get a feel for how much they know about the character. If they know a lot, then you can try to get them to respect the frames, but if they don't know anything, then, you kind of try to, cheese them a little bit,
Okay, so let's talk about that stance a little bit. From the way that you just phrased that, I would imagine that's probably her go-to stance. Like that's what you're trying to get into most of the time. So once you get into that stance, what are your options from there?
From that stance, you have K and K1, K and K2, the 3, let me see, K and K3, which is a hop kick, or K and K4, which is a little low stomp. And the cool thing about that stance is you can cancel it into a crouch dash. And you can cancel that crouch dash instantly by hitting up. So you can go into the stance and then instantly block, or you can go and you can flow with the moves because you have the frame advantage.
Nice. I didn't know she could cancel that. So when you get into that stance, what are you usually just trying to do a simple 50-50 mix-up with the low, or are you trying to do the other moves like give you frames or something on block?
Well, the thing with that stance is none of the moves track except for the 2, the K and K2. So you're trying to really see if they know enough to try to sidestep or not, because if they try to sidestep, that means they know enough about the character. So the 2 is really good because it tracks, and on counter hit, you can you get a stun. So inescapable stun, so you can do a combo.
Nice.
Let me see. Yeah, you have that. If they want to stand there, you can do the stomp or cancel the stance and do something else.
Is it? I don't see a grab on here for that stance. Is it worth it to cancel into a grab, or are grabs just pretty much off limits from that stance?
Yeah, you can Yeah, you can cancel and do a grab because you got to because you have so many frames. A lot of people are gonna just clam up and be defensive. So grabs are always a good way to try to open up somebody's shell.
Nice. So I know that there's a straight command for that stance. It says here that it's back 3+4. Can you keep doing back 3+4 and then canceling it and kind of like a makeshift wave dash, or is it not even worth it to do that?
No, it's not really worth it because the thing that sucks about the stance is you can't block. You can't block in the stance, so you have to. Yeah, you got to cancel it. So if you're doing that over and over, you're leaving yourself kind of open.
Gotcha. And okay, so that sounds like that's like her B&B stance. Does she have any other stances, or is it just that one?
Yeah, she has another one. It's BOK, and that's down both punches. And the deadly thing about that stance is she has is the BOK2. It's the 2, and it launches like really really high, and it goes under like a lot of things. It's kind of similar to the Ganryu. I don't know the notation, but Ganryu has like a launching one punch that he ducks down real low and knocks him way up in the eye, way up in the sky.
Yeah, I think it's God, I think it's not down back. I think it's just back, maybe. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about though. Yeah, he does get real low.
See, Ganryu sucks because it's really punishable. With hers, it's safe, and you go in the stance and it goes underneath like a lot of stuff and launches like really really high for big damage.
Oh, it's safe.
Yeah, safe.
Oh, that's crazy. Because I'm looking at the frame data just to kind of keep myself in the know. It says -11, so I imagine it has some pretty good pushback.
Yeah, the pushback is really good. It's one of those moves where if they don't know, they'll try to attack with like a 10 frame to try to punish because it's -11, and it'll whiff. And you can hop kick their whiff.
Nice. I like that. All right. Go ahead.
I was also going to say because of the high damage output of the BOK2, she also has BOK3, which is high and it tracks. It's a homing move, but it gives +9 on block. So if they just want to block that, you just get your frames and pressure some more.
Nice. So I take it the 2 does not track. You said?
No, the two doesn't track.
Well, so is it just a mix-up between basically those two options, or does she have a low?
Well, she has another one. She has a BOK1, which tracks pretty well, and it gives on counter hit. It gives a stun, and it's an escapable stun, but it's still pretty good. I think it's -1 on block, so that's pretty good in and of itself. Or you can do BOK4. Which basically does the K and K stance. She just brings her knee up and goes into the K and K stance, and you can do the stuff from that stance.
Is there anything that goes from K and K to PKO?
Yeah, you can do K and K1, and if you hold down, it'll put you in the BOK stance.
Gotcha. So you can just keep going back and forth if you want.
Yeah, you can do that. Like I said, if they don't know anything about the character, you can just go in and out of the stances and really really mess them up.
Nice. Okay, so let's assume that you do know what you're doing against Leo. Are you still doing like the basic 50/50s that you just explained and tried to do frames, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that BOK2, it goes under a lot of things. It goes under like down forward 1. It goes under like a lot of mids. You need like a mid that really hits really low, like a Feng Wei shoulder type thing or something. Like against Mishimas or characters that use a lot of highs, that moves eats them up because it just goes so low.
Nice. So is your when you're playing with Leo, is your main mentality to try to, I guess I don't want to say evade necessarily, but kind of just move around and do these frame traps to get the launch, or is she actually a poke character?
Yeah, she has some really strong pokes. Like she has a basic down forward 1, down forward 4. Her jabs. So, I just like to poke with the character. And
does she have any really strong low pokes? A la Brian down back 3, anything like that?
She has a quarter circle forward 1. It's not as strong as Brian's because Brian's knocks down on counter hit and the hit stun is like really long. So not as good as Brian's, but she has, quarter circle forward 1 is pretty decent. It hits low, hits grounded, it crushes.
So I'm looking at the move list here, and I see that she does have a down 4. Does she have a generic down, like shin kick, or are all those inputs taken up?
No, it's her down 4 is
I'm guessing it's down 3 plus 4.
Oh yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, down 3 plus 4 is just to get the generic one. But her down 4 is not that bad because she has surprisingly long legs. So it hits further than people would really expect it to, and it hits grounded. It's not that bad. It's -1 on hit, and I think -12 on block. So it's not a bad move at all.
Nice. I just we're big fans of shin kicks around here because shin kicks have won many tournament. Let's put it that way. So we love when characters have generic shin kicks. So I'm always looking for those. Okay, so we got the pokes. So it sounds like she's a pretty good poker. One thing that we have kind of been flirting with, the whole juggle damage thing and juggles. Off of down forward 2 and hop kick, like what sort of damage range are you looking at? Are you looking like high 70s, 80s, or is she like more the low 70s?
No, not that high. It's about like low 70s, like around 70, 71, 72, 73, around that range.
Now, what about BOK2? Is that going to get you above the 80 threshold, or is it kind of...
Yeah, it takes you up there. Let me do a quick combo. Let me see how much it does. Let me see. Okay, 89.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. That's pretty beefy. That's oh god, what is life bar? Is it 160? That's not right.
I think life bars in this game are 180.
180, yeah, so that's half life right there.
Yeah, half life, no wall.
Yeah, and if you're hitting counter hit, you're going to get more than half. So kind of the thing that goes hand in hand with juggle combos, obviously, is the wall carry and the walls. So I guess we'll start with the wall carry. Is her wall carry any good? Does she have any blast moves? Is it? What?
I think her wall carry is second to Nina.
Really? That's interesting. So what does she have that's so good at carrying?
Well, the cool thing about, you do the K&K stance, and when you cancel it, she canceled it into a crouch dash. So that crouch dash takes up a lot of space, and you do like K&K, crouch dash, and then come back up with a wall standing 3, K&K again, cancel crouch dash, wall standing 3, then K&K again, crouch dash into wall standing 3-1. And a lot of stages, you can go from wall to wall just doing that.
Well, with no bound, do you just do that?
Yeah, no bound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you save the bound for the wall. Like, I think Gargoyle Purge, the Fiesta del Tomate. Like, most of the smaller stages, you go from wall to wall really easy.
Oh, wow. That's actually really... Is that better? Is hers better than Bruce's as well? Or...
I think Bruce's is better because it's easier. Because I never seen anybody drop the Bruce one.
That's true. It is pretty monkey retarded. So, wow, that's actually interesting. I definitely don't watch enough Leo vids, that's for sure. So I was unaware of that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Leo love out there.
That's a true statement. So obviously that's pretty easy, at least to remember what to do to get somebody to wall. So once you're there, what does she have some pretty mass damage at the wall, or is it like just pretty average?
No, the damage is pretty good. That's one of the things that really attracted me to the character, because her wall combo does I think her wall combo does like 2 points less than Law's forward 4-3, than the DSS forward 3, and that does a the Law combo does a chunk.
Oh yeah,
and
hell.
it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough, and it doesn't work on all characters the same way. But the Leo one is like dirt easy. It's dirt easy, and it does 2 points less. So I like it a lot.
Okay, so what is it?
It's
because now I have to know.
Yeah, once you get to the wall, you're gonna you can bound with back 2 both punches, and then the combo is full crouch 2 while standing 1-4-1, and the last one is an elbow, and it does a chunk. It hits grounded, so it does like 70% of what it normally does.
Nice. So let's say that you, I guess you have the practice mode on right now. So just do like a hop kick, and then get him to the wall with the wall standing 3, and tell us how much like just a really generic whole combo does.
All right, hold on. Let me pick a wall stage. 1 second.
I would have to imagine you're getting over 100, but sure.
Yeah, normally it should do at least like it should do over either if not 100, I think 99. Let's see. Hold on. But yeah, her wall combo, her damage is really good. I really like it. Let's see. Oh man, it went to. Hold on, I picked the wrong stage. I got too close to the wall. Yeah, because the thing is, her wall carry goes so far. Sometimes you don't even need to go into the stance 3 times. Let's see.
Yeah, because I know one of the big things with Law in his wall game is when you get the down forward 2 or you get the hop kick or whatever it is, doing 4 up 3 like that alone does such a healthy chunk, and then you're going into your jab carry. So even if you're really close, you're still getting a huge chunk of damage before you hit the wall. So I'm not exactly sure how much the wall standing 3 does, but I'm guessing it's probably not too, let's say 15 damage. So it's okay.
It's pretty good. It's the same damage as down 4-1. So it's like you're doing a whole bunch of down 4-1s in a combo instead of jabs. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, 103. 14 hits, 103.
That's pretty good, and that's actually just in general. That's actually a pretty long combo, 14 hits. So it's not too bad. Okay, so when your opponent has their back against the wall, out of curiosity, just because you have it there, do like a 4-4-2 wall splat, and how much does that do? That the wall do?
Okay, 4-4-2. Let's see.
Or forward 12, whatever. Wall splat.
All right, 4-4-2. All right, back 2 both punches. Full crouch 2 while standing 1-3-1. It does 80.
80. That's pretty scary. So when obviously you're looking for wall splat when the opponent has their back against the wall. Are you, as a Leo player, are you mostly trying to do some sort of evasion stuff, like get them to whiff, or are you doing a guessing game? Because I would imagine that down back 4-1 is pretty scary itself, but I don't think that wall splats, does it?
No, it doesn't. It depends. If their back is right against the wall, it won't wall splat. But if you have a little bit of distance between their back and the wall, it'll make them hit the wall, so you can run up and do a combo.
Nice.
You can do a full bound combo. But the down back 4-1 is really good, against the wall, because since she does so much damage on the wall, people don't want to duck, so that's already a lot of pressure right there. So you can eat them up with the down back 4-1s until they commit to a duck or something else, and once you get them to commit to the duck, you can launch them against the wall.
Gotcha. So that actually reminds me of another question. Like, how good is her Oki game? Because, especially in that particular situation, if for some reason you don't get the wall splat off of down back 4-1, does she have, like, some pretty juicy Oki stuff? Or is it like pretty average?
Yeah, her Oki is pretty good because they have to stand up right away because you know, she has a stomp, and I think the stomp does like let me see, stomp does 24, so they have to get up. You have to get up right away, and yeah, you have that. You can
In the open field, does she have any like pickup options?
Yeah, she does actually. Like her forward, well, FF43, the forward 443. If they try to get up, that'll float them, and you can do a combo from there. Yeah, do a little reset combo. Like if they don't want to get up, you can just do the stomp.
Okay, so in the open field, just to inform me, the noob, her typical juggle ender, is it does it set you up good for a reset, or is it something that it's like a knockaway juggle?
Well, in the open field, you're going to want to do like something that spikes them down to the ground. Like after the bound, you're going to want to do like back 3-1, and that'll spike them down to the ground. So you can get that, you know, that easy 50-50 with either the reset or the stomp.
Okay, and then I take it if they tech roll or whatever that you're just gonna run up and go into K&K, I would imagine, or something like that.
Well, remember they're after the back 3-1, they're spiked down to the ground, so they can't tech roll.
Oh, gotcha.
They can side roll, or they can roll backwards or forward or stand up, but they can't tech roll because of the spike.
Does the stomp hit either direction, or can you roll out of it?
No, you can't roll out of it. You can roll backwards, but you know, if you roll backwards, that's you know, open yourself up to the reset.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's a little. No, wait. I'm trying to remember Kazuya's because I think you can roll his one way. If I remember.
Yeah, Kazuya's stomp.
He gets to his left. Is that right?
I think so. Generally, when you walk to his left, let me see, to his left. No, to your left. Usually to your left. Usually when you're going to your left against Kazuya, like most of those moves miss anyway.
Gotcha. But it doesn't matter with her. You just do the stomp and it's going to catch.
Yeah, it hits. Yeah, it's easy.
Nice. Okay, so you mentioned grabs earlier, and I always think, like, when it comes to Oki, you know, grabs are always pretty important. Are her grabs pretty good, or like does it give her good Oki options after it, or do they just like does she throw the opponent away?
Well, yeah, her normal grabs are pretty good. Her 1+3 grab. Hold on, let me do it. Yeah, the 1+3 grab leaves let me see, what's that called? Feet towards, face down. So you get a free down. You get the free down forward, the little shin kick. That's guaranteed always. But you can do the stomp if you're sure that they're not going to get up. You know, if you think they're going to get up, you can just hit them. You can do some big damage and hit him in the back with down forward, both punches, quarter circle forward too.
But does that launch, or does it just knock down?
No, it just knocks down.
But still beefy damage.
Yeah, there's 57, and it hits them all in the back, so they can't block anything.
That's crazy. She gets the down forward. What'd you say it was? 3?
Yeah, it's down forward, both punches, quarter circle forward too.
Oh, sorry. What's the low that she always gets off of it?
Oh, down four.
Down 4? Oh, okay. That's crazy. Just off of a normal grab, she gets a down 4 no matter what.
Yeah, it's always guaranteed.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. That makes her regular one grab like if you always take the down 4, you're looking at what, like 55? I'm guessing the grab does 40 on its own.
No, the grab does 35, and if they don't get up, then the down 4 is going to do 10. So 45 in total.
That's pretty. You're kind of getting to the command grab damage with that. That's pretty silly. Is there a 2 grab the same way, or does that knock away?
The 2 grab knocks away, and the good thing about the 2 grab is you can they can't tech roll. They either have to roll back or stand up. If they roll back, you can run up and do back 1-4 and float them and do it and reset a combo. But normally most people just stand up, so you can just run up and do down 4 because it hits so far. And most people don't want to wake up and duck. So a lot of times the down 4 is free. After the 2 grab 2.
Gotcha. And she does have a command grab, right?
Yes, forward both punches. And in the open field, it's not really that good because it knocks them really far away. You don't get any oki. But if Leo's back is to the wall, she can do that grab, and she'll switch places with the guy, and you get a wall stun. And you get a whole wall combo off of it.
No shit. That wall stun. I didn't know that. Okay, so if her back's against the wall, you always want to break 12. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, always break both. Yeah.
I'll have to remember that. Okay, so, and that's the only 3 she has, right? She just has the 1 command grab and then the generic 2?
Yeah, just those 3, yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I know I got more questions. Okay, so we were talking about Oki and her stance. How is her tracking? Because it sounded like when you were talking about K&K, there was I think you said there was 1 thing that tracked.
Yeah, just the K&K.
The 3.
Yeah, tracking is a little bit of an issue with her because she doesn't track that much in either direction. She has a couple of homing moves like down forward 3, but that move is like 20 frames, so it's not something really to really throw out. So, but she tracks better than Law though. Law doesn't track for anything.
And that it's so funny that you mentioned that because a lot of people, I know when Dan was co-hosted with me, he would always say that Law's down back 3 was the reason that you don't sidestep him. Like that move alone just fixed all of his tracking problems. And how does he phrase it? I think he said something along the lines of a tracking low is like 10 times better than just a tracking move or a homing move in general, because you have to not only account for the tracking of the move, you also have to account for the fact that it's low. So does she? I know that she has the down 4. I take it down back 4 doesn't track worth anything either.
It doesn't really track much to her right. It's a circular move, but it doesn't track 360, which sucks.
Gotcha.
And if it's negative 31 on block, so you don't really want to use it for that. You don't want to use it for that purpose too much.
And then the down 4, does that give a stun? I don't think that gives a stun.
No, it doesn't give a stun. It's just a little shin kick.
Gotcha. So does that track any better than down back 4 or any other low, I should say?
Up close, it tracks pretty good, but once they get to like range 1 or range 2, they can just walk. They can walk it.
So from the way that you kind of started that topic, it sounds like you kind of do that with most of her stuff, just sidewalk it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does it?
Yeah, that's the general strat.
Does it matter which side, or is there a weak and a strong side?
She's more weak. She's more weak on her left side. So if you sidewalk right, that usually gets around like a lot of her stuff.
Well, there you go, people who are having trouble with Leo. Sidewalk right. So, okay, so her tracking, it sounds like, is pretty, what about her general safety? Like, it sounds like from all the moves that we've talked about so far that she actually is pretty good at getting frames. Is that true in general, or just happens to be true with the moves that we mentioned?
She's pretty decent with the frames. Like, she doesn't have a lot of things that gives a lot of plus frames, but a lot of her things are either negative, like -1 or -2, like as far as the pokes go. So they're not that bad.
Nice. Okay, let's see if I can think of anything else. I mean, it sounds like we've covered most everything. Ooh, one thing I always need to ask about a character. So her panic buttons. We've always maintained that, in order to be a top tier character or compete, you have to have a magic 4 or something like that. Does she have anything like really strong that's like you just have to be scared of getting counter hit by it, or something that could just completely shut you down like a magic 4?
Well, she has a magic 4, but it's 12 frames. So it's not as good as like Lee or Law or the 11 frame Magic 4 people. But I think her real panic button would be the BOK2, just for the fact that it can go under so many moves. So they have to kind of be careful what they're throwing out, because it'll go under like a down forward 1, and you get 89 damage.
Gotcha. So are you ever just kind of doing BOK to just out of thin air, or are you trying to like set up?
Yeah,
like, so sometimes you'll just do down 12-2 real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize it was that fast.
Yeah, because it's safe, and it's crushing. It's going under so many things. So if they don't want me to use it like that, they would have made it unsafe, I think.
Gotcha. Okay, so you have that. So she does have a Magic 4. Does it go into a juggle on counter hit, or is it just like like a one?
Yeah, you get a juggle. You can dash. You dash up into a jab. Well, let me do the combo. See how much it does actually. It's not that bad. The thing I don't like the most about it is just the fact that it's 12 frames. I'm so used to playing with Law, and his 11 frame. I'm sorry, yeah, 11 frame 4, and you can just abuse that. And the combo with that is like really, really easy. But with Leo, let's see. Leo's is a little bit harder because you have to dash in and hit the jab. Oh man, okay. It does let's see. Yeah, she goes so far sometimes. Okay, alright. 70 they just hit the wall, so it did 78 and they hit the wall. So it probably does like around 76.
Yeah, because I think the wall only does a couple minutes. So 76, that's pretty good off of a Magic 1. But generally speaking, you're mostly looking for the BOK too.
Yeah, because it's safe and it just does so much damage.
And it's a mid too, right?
Yeah, it's mid, super mid.
Yeah, so Magic 4 is high, so that's something that's a plus.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was actually the last question I think I had. It sounds like we've covered most everything with her. Is there like anything that we missed that you think like is pretty important to the character, or?
Let's see. I think I want to go over like who she's kind of weak against.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By all means, matchups are extremely important. So
she's strong against characters that have like stances, like Eddie and Christie or Ling, like characters that have stances that normally that evade most people's stuff. She's pretty good against, because her down forward 2, she kind of ducks down a little bit, so it hits him out of those stances. It hits Eddie out of relax, so that's pretty good.
Well, I know that's the strategy with Law, is because his hop kick hits so low that it'll knock out of relax.
Yeah, Law's pretty good with that too. But Leo, I feel is even better, because it seems like her most damaging things, all of them hit out of those low stances. But she's kind of weak against characters that have like really strong 12 frame punishment.
So is that because a lot of her stuff is in the negative 12 range, or just because you can sneak them in there?
Yeah, because a lot of her stuff is in the like negative 12 range. Like the down forward 2 is negative 13, but she kind of recoils a little bit. So most characters can't really punish it, but characters like Lars or Bob, or that they have those really far 12 frame punishes, just eat her up like a lot.
So standard jabs won't punish that.
No.
I did not know that. I'll have to make a note of that. Do like generic 4s? Do those typically reach that far enough? Because I know like Law, his 12 punisher, or one of his 12 frame punishers is 4-3. I know you can do the 4-3 string. I know Bake has the 4-3 string as well. Does that reach, or is that?
Yeah, those normally reach because you know, the legs usually go out further in this game than the arms.
Yeah.
So like characters that have good like 4-3 strings like Law or Big and such, they can punch it pretty good.
Okay, so what other matchup problems did she have?
Well, it was really the 12 frames because like Lars or Bob, you know, those. I keep saying those characters because they keep eating me up in tournaments, but yeah, those. Yeah, if you have like a far-reaching 12-frame punishing, then you're a pretty good match against Leo.
Nice. Okay, well, anything else then that you can think of other than the matchup stuff?
Well, yeah, that's all I can think of for right now. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not that good at this.
No, that's okay. I actually think we got a lot of information out there, and based on what we said, kind of to wrap up the discussion about Leo, it sounds like she's actually a pretty decent character. Like, you know, she has some tracking issues, but you know, who doesn't? And you know, I know Lars. I mean, everyone touts him as a top 3, top 5 character, and he has some tracking issues, so I can't see that as being too much of a hindrance. So where would you put her in the grand scheme of things? Do you think she's in the middle or maybe high middle?
I think high middle, like upper. You know, if she had some really abusable cheese, you know, that'd break her in the top tier. But you know, you kind of got to work for it a little bit. So she's kind of, you know, she's down. You know, she's right below top tier, I think.
So what kind of cheese are you talking about? Like if you had to pick like a move or two that she would get, what kind of cheese would you want?
Let me see. Like I really like Lars's forward both punches because that move just seems like it just beats stuff. Like Lars in general, he just seems like he beats things like he shouldn't. Like even when he's at disadvantage. So like she doesn't really have like a move that just really like the BOK2 goes under a lot of stuff, but it's still kind of slow. It won't beat Lars's forward both punches or up 4-3 anything like that. You know, I just think she needs like, well, I like her as she is, but she just, for her to be top tier, she just needs like something, like a little bit more cheesy, like a bob up for both punches, or.
Gotcha. So, something that's just some sort of mid-high priority move that you can hit confirm, or leads to mass damage.
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's the last I had for Leo. Any final comments for people out there who are trying to pick her up or maybe trying to figure out how to beat her?
Yeah, for the guys that want to pick up Leo, you know, it's a pretty cool character. You know, if you like Virtua Fighter, if you like Akira, you know, it's pretty much the second version of Akira. So it's a pretty cool character.
Wow, is she that technically difficult?
No, not that difficult.
Because I think of Akira, and I think every move I ever do or want to do is a just frame. Like that's what I think of when I think of Akira.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, Akira is pretty much all just frames, but they have the same martial art though. So she's like an easier Akira.
The Po Man's Akira.
Po Man's Akira.
I like that. Okay, well, then we will put an end then to the character discussion for that. I did have a couple questions for you, though, just kind of general focus stuff. One, so you said that you were just playing Tekken right now and Tekken only. Are you planning on changing that, or are you going to break? Because you said originally that you started off with Street Fighter 2. Obviously, that was before your competitive days, but like, are you ever going to branch up, maybe do some like Street Fighter X Tekken, or maybe get on the Soul Calibur train? I know a lot of Tekken players play Soul Calibur as well.
Well, I'm thinking about playing Street Fighter Cross Tekken simply because in Miami we have such a large 2D community, like really strong 2D players, like much more Street Fighter players than Tekken. So it'll be easier to get up to speed in that game.
Yeah, I think that's true for everywhere.
And we have like a really, really strong Soul Calibur player down there. Goes by the name of Omega from like the Dominican Republic. And he's like really strong. He's like their national champ, and he's like really, really strong. So he'll probably get me up to speed in Soul Calibur too. And, excuse me, Soul Calibur 5.
I'm glad how you made that slip. Soul Calibur 2, the only other good Soul Calibur. Yeah, I need to start boning up on my my names, my big names for Soul Calibur, because the only ones that I ever remember are like from the SC2 days. Like I remember like all the ATL crew. You had Mick, RTD, you know, those guys. Eris was obviously real big back in the day. You had Esam from Minnesota. He's actually been on the podcast a couple times. So that's actually kind of the reason that
Solus was pretty good too, wasn't he?
For like Chicago Solus?
Yeah.
I didn't think he played Caliber, actually.
Oh, wow.
I thought Tekken 5 was his first game. It was his first fighting game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I heard he was a Soul Calibur 2 player.
Huh. He might have been. I don't know if he... Because the first time I ever met him or talked to him was during a 5.0 regional. So I thought that he said that was his first fighting game. But who knows? You know, everybody says that one thing is true and something else.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong. You know, go by what he says.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that one of the reasons actually that I wanted to wait to start that Soul Calibur podcast was to wait till after Final Round, because obviously all of the big names are going to come out for Final Round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, making RTD, those guys and all the ATL, they're still playing.
Oh yeah. I always hear little bits and pieces about the old school crew, but I don't know any of the newer school players, and I'm gonna have to go through and watch like all the Winter Brawl stuff because I know that's pretty big. So gotta see who's out there, see who I need to know and who I need to start talking to get them on the show. But let's see. What else? I don't want to talk to you about that. I wish I had more questions. Like, so you said about the Street Fighter X Tekken thing. All right, did you submit a video for a cross assault, or did you just completely ignore that?
Nah, I didn't submit a video.
I felt like it was so cheesy. Like when I first heard about that, I was like, that'd be kind of cool to be on that, but at the same time, I don't want to look like Core. You know, it's like it's so cheesy, and you're just like, oh, really? This is what gets you into this stuff.
Well, you know, $25,000 is a really good motivator.
Oh,
but
that's
I just felt like, you know, even though it is Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it's more of a Street Fighter game, and I don't think I'm decent at Street Fighter, but I don't think I'm good enough to win the game show with Justin. At the time, I thought Justin Wong and everybody would have made it. I'm like, yeah, I can't beat those guys in Street Fighter.
Yeah, so, that kind of surprises me that Justin Wong didn't make it. Like that was.
Yeah, me too.
Unless he just didn't submit a video or did.
Nah, he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, it was theatrical.
That's so fucking goofy. That or maybe make him the coach or something. That's just weird that like the most popular fighting game character or fighting game player that you would just leave him out of that. But whatever, I guess.
I guess they got something and got a surprise in store for us or something.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he's like a boss. He's who you play at the very end to win your $25,000. But yeah, I was kind of excited for Street Fighter X Tekken. Then they released that fucking gem system shit, and then like the more I see little bits and pieces of it, at first I thought it was going to be more Marvel-esque when it came to combos, but like for supers and stuff, I've never been good at that sort of shit. I've just never been good at doing like multiple fireballs. I'm too retarded. I don't know. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not that good at it either.
But who knows? We can just sit around and wait for Tekken X Street Fighter. I guess that's what we're going to.
Yeah, that's the one I really want to see, man. Because I want to see what they do with fire. How are they going to implement fireballs and drag? They can do dragon punches and like invincible moves because they'll find a way to make it work. In the Tekken physics. But I want to see how they can if they do decide to keep the fireball zoning game in there, because 3D kind of negates that, because you just sidestep it and it's gone.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that a lot of people forget about is that fireballs in Street Fighter are your main spacing tool. So in Tekken, it's completely different. You don't use any sort of projectiles or long distance sort of moves like a projectile to keep your spacing. Your movement is your spacing. Like that's how you space. But yeah, it'll be really interesting. I don't know. Are you pumped for Tag 2?
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been waiting for Tag 2 for a long time. Yeah, I get to play 2 characters at once. That's who doesn't like that?
Yeah, for sure. So you're liking the way that the current build looks? Do you think that's gonna be okay?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. You're referring to like the one versus two versus one thing?
Well, that too, but I mean, just in general, obviously the 2v2 is going to be the primary tournament game or tournament setting. But just like in general, like the balance changes that they've been making and the system changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like it. It looks pretty cool because what in the beginning I was thinking the tag assault combos would be way too overpowered, but with the red life, you get the red life back pretty quick. So, I think that kind of balances it out.
Yeah, because that was my big worry, is that walls were going to be just insanely busted. And then, I mean, they have these vids out with, like I know the Brian Huarong one was like the big one, where you just have these crazy-ass fucking unblockable setups and shit.
Yeah, I hope they take that out, because that's kind of cheap, man. There's going to be a lot of Huarong players if they don't take that out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be a Huarong player. Never touched a character in my life, and I'll be a Huarong.
Yeah, I can do the unblockable.
Yeah, exactly. Tag assault, unblockable, done. Set up over. Yeah, that's my only big concern. I was actually chatting about it with Dan not too long ago, and I'm still pumped for Tag 2 because I've been waiting for another tag game for a decade, so I'm ready to play another one. But at the same time, the whole losing your life, 70-80% of your life in one combo thing, like, that's starting to get old.
That's good to be.
But
I don't like that. That plus, it's like there's no skill in it. It's not even like a really tough combo to learn or anything. It's just you do an unblockable and it hits the guy.
Yeah, and that was my my one big beef about like Tekken 6. Like the bound system was supposed to make things better and kind of add some creativity to the game, but because of the way that the bound system works, the game has actually lost a little bit of creativity when it comes to juggles, because either you have to do this one thing or you're like not getting any damage. So, but I always thought that when Tag 2 was going to come out, that they were going to ditch the kill one character and you win the round thing. Like I always thought they were going to change it so that you have to kill both characters, but I guess they're afraid that matches are going to be as long as they were in Tag. Yeah,
it would be. Yeah, they didn't have to put the game on. Yeah, I don't think they have enough time for that.
Well, I think they do, because the thing that kept Tag 1 matches so long was the fact that the backdash was busted. I mean, the backdash was just ridiculous.
Yeah, you run away.
Yeah, that's all matches were. But you can't really do that anymore. So I always thought that would fix it. But what do I know? I'm just a working man. What can I say?
Me too.
Well, that's I guess that's it. Unless I don't know. Do you guys have anything like crazy going on down south right now that you want to kind of pump up and get out there? To anybody, anything you want to pitch?
Not too much. Miami's kind of far away from everybody. We're like all the way at the bottom of the map, so we're kind of removed from everybody else.
How far away is Atlanta to you guys? I imagine it's quite a drive.
It's about like 10, 12 hours.
Are you flying or driving?
I think this time I'm going to drive up, because there's a lot of guys that want to come down. So it's more cost effective for everybody if we just drive up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the only pain in the ass is you have to drive 12 hours.
But it makes I used to drive back in the Tekken 4 days, Tekken 5. I used to drive a lot.
Did you do any really crazy long solo missions, or did you always have somebody to go with?
Early when nobody knew who I was, I used to do crazy solo missions. I used to drive because I used to live in North Carolina. So I used to drive from North Carolina to Tennessee, like a couple of times by myself.
How long of a drive is that?
It's like 7 hours.
That's not too bad. That's pretty decent. The longest drive I've ever done was 24 hours, and we drove out to L.A. But I had 2 other guys with me, so so it wasn't just me. But,
yeah, I did one of those trips too. I drove from I flew out to Evo back when it was in Cal Poly, and I stayed at like one of my friend's brother's house for like a couple of weeks, and then we drove from there to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Atlanta. I think it took like 3 days.
what? That's so weird. Why would you fly to the West Coast to drive back to the East Coast?
Well, they used to have a thing called with a company called AirTran called X Fares. And if you were under 23 years of age, you can basically fly one way for like 50, $60, like standby. So you just show up to the airport, give them like $50, and they give you an airplane ticket. So that's how I got the Evo that year.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know standby. I've never personally done any standby stuff, but I've heard some horror stories. Just
yeah, it depends because some flights are going to be empty and some flights are going to be packed. So you got to kind of you got to pick the right time, pick the right days. You can't go out on crazy days. But at that time I was young, so I didn't care.
Oh yeah,
I just wanted, it was cheap and I got to go out and play video games, so I did it.
Yeah, that's pretty much that was my motivation for driving out to LA. And actually, that drive we were going to Evo as well back when it was out at Cal Poly. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah, showing my age.
Absolutely. Well, that's really all I have. If you don't have any last words, one thing that we do always do at the end of these podcasts, a little bit called sound off. I don't know if you've listened to our podcast at all, but essentially, I'm going to give you open forum, and you need to tell us what pisses you off. I need one thing. What pisses Way Gamble off? What makes him so mad that he could choke a bitch?
In Tekken
or whatever. I mean, if it's Tekken, cool. If not, cool.
Let me see. What do I hate? I don't know. I don't like Knicks fans.
You're not a Lynn Sanity fan, huh?
Well, I like Lynn because he's kind of an underdog or whatever, but I hate his team. I really hate his team. Like I hate the Knicks.
And dude, I'm just gonna throw this out there. You are a Miami Heat fan, so
all day. We got the ring this year, man.
Oh yeah, you say that.
Nah, last year they were supposed to win, but they paid them off in Vegas or something.
Right. You're talking to a Mavericks fan. There ain't nobody paid off. Dirk finally got his ring.
No, that's who we got the ring off last time, so we gave them their chance.
I guess so. Everybody's got to get a piece, unless you're the Lakers or the Celtics, and then you got to get them all. But whatever. Yeah, I think that's just the way it rolls, though. If you are in New York or LA, everyone hates you. I think it boils down to that.
Well, I'm just a country boy at heart, so it goes back a long time before me.
So that's crazy. You're from North Carolina, but you're a Heat fan.
Well, at the time we had the basketball. Our team was the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do remember.
And right before I was about to move, the franchise left. And they went to New Orleans, so I didn't have a team anymore.
Oh, so you didn't stick with them then? You were like, nope, you're not North Carolina anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the New Orleans. That's not my team anymore. That's New Orleans.
Oh man.
Bobcats for some. I don't know what the Bobcats are.
Fair. Well, they're Jordan's, piece of crap team. That's what they are.
Yeah, I like Jordan, but the Bobcats. It kind of sounds like a high school team, man. What is Bobcats?
Just imagine how Seattle fans feel.
Oh man, yeah. I feel bad for. They had a really good team, man. I don't know why they just. I think they're about to get. They're about to get another franchise.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Huh. Because I always thought they moved because the basketball market up in the Northwest, it was just dominated by the Blazers. And if you weren't a Blazers fan, then maybe you were, a Warriors fan. or Kings fan or something, but like for whatever reason, like Seattle just didn't take to basketball very well. I don't know, because like they're pretty good in the baseball.
Yeah, I know Sean Kemp. I grew up on Sean Kemp.
Oh, I did too. I grew up on obviously Michael Jordan, but Kemp, Peyton, yeah, all those guys, Hall of Famers, But
yeah, man.
I don't know. I guess the city just didn't take to him. What can you say? But then again, what trouble did Kemp get in? Was it drugs? I can't remember. He got into some sort of trouble. Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember myself.
But, no, whatever. That's a different era.
He's immortal in my eyes, man. Dunking on those guys, pointing at them.
Oh yeah, he was the LeBron James before LeBron. What? God, who's another guy that just did nothing but dunk on people?
Let me see. Clyde Drexler. I remember Drexler was dunking on people.
Yeah, Clyde Drexler was pretty good. Fucking crazy too. I was always when me and my friends, we were always Bugsy Bogues fans. Shortest man ever dunk. Oh man, we loved some Bugsy Bogues. He was hilarious.
Man, too. Yeah, Muggsy was cool.
Oh well. Anyway, that was pretty good. We got some Knicks hate going on. No one from New York is ever going to come on this podcast except now that you're calling the Knicks out. I'm going to get everyone from New York on this podcast. But
the Knicks is bad.
Well, they don't have E-Wing anymore. What can you say? Or John Starks. That was my boy. I love John Starks with fucking the high top haircut. Yeah. That shit cracks me up. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, that's all I got for any questions. And I guess you said you didn't have anything like you wanted to shout out to or anything. So I guess
shout out Miami, man. Mm-hmm. We're such a major city, but we don't have like a really, really big scene like that. That sucks. But just shout out to Miami.
That's okay.
That's okay. Miami Heat all day.
Miami Heat, LeBron. Except LeBron wants to go back to Cleveland, so whatever.
He's not going. He just said that to be nice. He's never going like that.
He didn't say it to be nice. He said it for people to start talking about him again. That's what he did it for.
No, he's not. No, once you move to Miami, you don't leave.
Can't give up the beaches, right?
Nah, man. It was 80-something degrees today. You know how hot it is?
Oh, man. I don't, actually. It's I guess we're starting to get into spring, but it's still 30, 40 degrees here, so.
Yeah, can't live like that anymore, man.
All right, dude. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. And hopefully everyone out there who listened learned at least a little bit of something.
Yeah, I'm not the best guest, but I'm glad you took the time to have me on.
No, that's cool. You still know a hell of a lot more about Leo than I ever will, probably. So that's good. Well, thanks for coming on again, and thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you next time.